want to know this. I've had the opportunity to sit outside and watch the sunrise this morning. Did anybody have the opportunity to step outside this morning or experience that? So I'm sitting there looking at this mountain and understanding that it's not just a mountain, it's a volcano. It's a big difference. Looks can be deceiving on the outside. Never judge by what you see. So I'm sitting there having this experience with God, and I'm watching the sun come up, and I'm seeing the cloud covering half the mountain, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, I have this imagination that's constantly going. I'm saying to myself, damn, I'm just waiting for Moses to come down out of that cloud. The way that that's set up out there, I just want to encourage you. Are we here one more day? One more day? Is that 2 more days? If you get the opportunity to just go out at the break of dawn and be present. Just be present. It will literally take your breath away. And as I was sitting out there, I was listening. Now this is the second time I've been here. I was in Costa Rica last year at this time. And at the break of dawn, which is one of my favorite times during the day, I would go out and you would see the mist in the valleys. And then all of a sudden, I started to hear these howler monkeys. And it happens at the break of dawn. These are the mystical opportunities to step into the wonderment of life. The other thought that I had today is that as I went and I sat in the midst of this beautiful flower garden, how many people have had a chance to kind of meander through there? Pretty amazing. And I saw and heard this one bird just singing at the top of his lungs. And so I got really close and I'm looking up and I could see this bird and he doesn't know I see him. This bird has no clue I see him. He's singing at the top of his lungs. Just singing away, and I'm standing there just observing him, and this thought pops in my mind. At how, in all of nature, to the depth of the seas, there is this spectacular, breathtaking beauty that is occurring, whether or not I see it, because it is its God-given natural state of being. When you do what you do so that eyes can see, acknowledge, recognize you, applaud you, anytime you do what you do to be seen, you dilute your authenticity. When you stay grounded within, and I've had the most amazing opportunity to get to know one of the most amazing human beings on earth, Don Green. He's the executive director of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I said, Don, tell me this. In your journey, I said, you're a mentor to me. I said, so what about fear? And people have the acronyms for fear, false evidence appearing real. I said, you're a mentor to me. You've had twice the life that I've had. What's behind the fear? And what do you do when you have that anxiety? And I'm not just talking about the fear of snakes or spiders. When you have these fears, these false evidence appearing real, I'm not just talking about phobias. There are phobias that happen in life for certain reasons because you've encoded within your system, your subconscious, a negative experience, and it's stored in your biology. We all have our phobias in life. I'm talking about the kind of fear of speaking your truth, fear of setting healthy boundaries, fear of saying, and part of that setting healthy boundaries, fear of saying, you know, I'm really exhausted, I can't give you the attention that you're seeking right now, so I need to take a little break. So I want to encourage you guys in this room to explore the areas of, yes, as human beings, that's the label we have for it, fear. However, it's restricting you from stepping into your God-given fullest potential in this world. I want to encourage you, for the remainder of the time that I'm speaking, to have an intention to walk out of here with one mindset skill. One mindset skill and one physiological stress relief tip that resonates with you, that you can start to apply now and practice. I love the word practice. Practice has built-in grace. It truly has built-in grace. So take one in the area of the mindset skill, one item in the area of your biology, and you can take and you can start to practice. So to give you just a brief summary on my journey so far, in my baby book, my little baby book, which I look at so I remember the depth from which I've been saved in my life, my mom wrote that I had an insatiable curiosity about human nature. That I would ask, why did that person say that? Why did they say that like that? Why did that person yell at that person? Curiosity, just this insatiable curiosity. What makes people tick? So that led me to cognitive psychology, and then post-grad in anxiety management, stress relief. And then, of course, I'm always giving God permission to have His way with me in spite of myself. And I'm always asking for the schoolhouse of training to do what I do. And the experiential piece of what I do in this world. And so I had the most phenomenal experience that happened 6 years in. I've been doing specifically the business that I have, Grab and Go Stress Solutions, for 17 years now. 6 years in is when I was invited into my PhD in terms of what I'm doing, called to do in this world. When I was diagnosed with advanced cancer 1 week prior to my final divorce court date. And so, in my experience, in less than 2 years, I went through the divorce with my 3 children, then 8, 10, and 12. Did 16 chemos, 6 weeks of daily radiation, and I had, because of the radiation and the chemo, additional 2 years of the chemo, and the combination between the radiation and the chemo, the little small percent that makes you feel so special, the doctor said to me, you're in one of those rare percentages. I had third-degree burns on the left side of my chest, so they had to graft my back onto my front. And so now I really don't know if I'm coming or going. I can use that as an excuse, which I sometimes do. And works pretty well, actually. And so after 12 surgeries, they got my back on my front and got rid of all the dead skin on the front, and lo and behold, here I am. Thanks be to God. And so with that said, this was part of my training. And there was one point when I was in the shower, and I remember looking at myself and my body and the scar. I didn't recognize my physical earth suit. It was the craziest experience to look in the mirror. And before getting in the shower, and I'll never forget this moment, I was looking at myself, and I said out loud, I'm like, holy crap. I'm looking at myself totally bald, and then when you lose the eyebrows and the eyelashes, it's like the thought, Casper the ghost comes into your mind. and then you don't have the breasts, so from here up I'm like, am I a guy or am I a girl? And so I remember talking to myself out loud as I'm looking at myself. Stress is simply a signal within your earth suit giving you, each one of you, the opportunity to identify and adjust your perception of any situation in life. Any situation. Oftentimes I'll speak and people will come up in tears and they'll say, I have to share with you what I've gone through in my life, and they'll share their story, and then they'll pause and they'll say, but there's nothing compared to what you went through. And I'll stop them in the midst of that. And I said, don't undermine your schoolhouse. Do not undermine your schoolhouse. Your training. This is my training, people. This is my training. I'm very grateful for it, because it has led to expansive insights that I wouldn't have otherwise. I remember when I was in the shower and I was looking down after seeing the image of myself for the first time, androgynous, physically speaking, I looked down, and I'm constantly talking to God, constantly having a conversation going on, and I said, wow, God, really took me literally when I said, do whatever you want to do, expand what I'm doing. And I looked down, and I was just checking things out, and I said, this is my training. This is part of my PhD experience in suffering. And I don't say that. I say that word suffering without any sense of victimization. This is the suffering that I speak of that literally links you to the hearts of humanity instantaneously in life. This is what links us together. Vulnerability links the hearts of humanity faster than any other emotion in life. Greatness in this life, true greatness, not little greatness, I'm talking massive greatness in this life, comes through the archway of four things: love, humility. Humility. Love and humility, which involves releasing all expectations and assumptions of how I should be treated. You should treat me better. I deserve more. True greatness, people. True, authentic greatness that you reflect on at the sunset of this light comes through the archway of love, humility, belief, and action. Belief in action. Just so you know, if this is the one thing you walk out of here in terms of a mindset skill, your victorious success, is your God-given natural state of being. This is your natural state of being. Victorious success is your God-given natural state of being. And it walks hand in hand with belief and action. How many people out here have had a shower epiphany?
Yeah.
Shower epiphany. So you're in the shower and all of a sudden, boom!
Yeah. Yes.
The idea comes. How many people have let that shower epiphany drain down into that drain in the shower? Oh, that was good. And you close the door. Belief is incredible. And shower epiphanies come with belief. The manifestation of those shower epiphanies comes through the action, people. And I want to share with you a couple of energy leaks that hold us back from that victorious success in life. One of them is fear. So getting back to Don Green, when I posed the question, what is fear? How do people get rid of it? And without even skipping a beat, he said the solution to fear is faith. And the solution to fear is faith. We've heard that before. Yes, we've heard that before. The solution to fear is faith and having a definitive purpose. Having a definitive purpose. What do you want? And then go even a little deeper. Why do you do what you do? Going back to what I was originally talking about, do you do what you do to be seen, acknowledged, and recognized? Because let me just give you a little clue here. You're brainwashed by something called the drug of approval. This happened the first time you did a little jig, and someone said, oh my gosh, look at how cute she is. Look at her do that little jig. And something went on inside, something felt good. And so you said, that feels good. I'm going to do a little more of that shit. See her now? Now you have 2 or 3 people clapping. Come here. Look at this dance that she's doing over here. Then all of a sudden you start using your space and start charging money. And then, I have to say that. I have to say you start charging money because I used to pretend I was Michael Jackson and my little brother was the backup singer, and we would get my whole family sitting on the stairway. And then we'd do our little dance, and then we'd walk up with a hat. So, you know why you're doing your dance, so that you do not dilute your purpose.